I would love to hear about the genesis of your YouTube channel and how you find the balance.
Well, for me back then, in 2014 and 15, it was just not a couple of projects. Like back then, I was working a lot with Mean Mug 713. He's now growing his Twitch account, mostly because Twitch is actually treating their content creators and streamers probably a lot more fairly than YouTube is nowadays. But for me, him, Jujumar, Realty Dragon, and Cosplay with me are probably the primary reasons why I got into this. Like, we would always kind of do vlogs, hang out, and we would have these like nicknames, and I kind of redug up my nickname from high school, which was the MySpace nickname, Kevin the Director, that I gave myself, and it just kind of stuck. And I decided, you know what, I want to do some videos. Like one of them was a stop motion animation. It's gone now, but I'm probably going to bring it back on Instagram later on. But I really wanted to try something different, so I just like, let's try a skit. And I did some videos with Mean Mug and a couple other guys, and we just did like the Robin Hood Men in Tights song, and that did very well. And I'm like, okay, I can actually do videos that actually get a lot higher viewership. Okay, that's cool. And I just was trying to catch up with Mean Mug and Jules on their YouTube channel aspects. And for me, a lot of things with my job at Vicare Media is getting the product out with a high quality, with a finished look, at a reasonable time. So for me, whenever I make a YouTube video, I try to get it out. I try to get it done and out very quickly. So rule number one, transfer the files immediately onto your hard drive. And I have like a 5 terabyte hard drive that has very organized folders for everything from day one footage, day two footage, and in those files, folders, there's different subcategories: cosplayers, dealer's room, exhibitors, after parties, cosplay contests, whatever. I basically try to be as organized as possible. So when I go and edit the video, I start and then editing the cosplayer section. Once the cosplayer section is done, I then decide which cosplayer goes first, second, third, because I never want the same shot or the same location for the cosplayers. I want different locations, different looking cosplayers from different series. I guess for me, there's a saying that bad guys always say in the movies, if you want something right, do it yourself. And for me, that's something I had to learn how to do. Obviously, back in the beginning, I was very kind of slow, but I realized I need to get faster. I need to be Johnny on the freaking spot. And that's how I have to do these things. So that means if I have to kind of make sure my equipment's charged when I get into the room, I'm going to start charging up my equipment. If that means transferring the footage and start editing it, that's what I'm going to do. So that way, when I go out to an after party or go to dinner with my friends, I know that stuff's taken care of. So that way, on Monday, when I dive into creating this content, like WeebCon, for instance, I was editing some of that on Sunday. When I was in Dallas on Sunday, and even Monday in the morning, when that's something I was doing constantly. So I basically had the video done and ready by Tuesday morning. Well, technically, it was ready by a certain morning because with WeebCon, I was working with The Art of Collab along with Isaiah Blue um, to basically make these videos happen. And Isaiah was covering for me for the after party, and I needed that after party for my end credits. And so that's what kind of I was waiting for. But anytime you do a video, you need to know how the video is going to look like, how it's going to be going, but more importantly, when you want to get it out. Do you want to get it out Wednesday? Do you want to get it out Thursday or Friday? The sooner you can get it out, the better, because the fact that WeebCon happened like less than 3 to 4 days when I released the video, that means it's still hot. Because if you release it like 2 weeks later, it might not be as hot as it was. If you release a month later, it's not hot. I know this one content creator I helped to make a 4th of July video. He released it in August. And I'm like, that's not okay. It's like, what's the point of releasing a 4th of July video in August? That's like saying, hey, let's release a Christmas video in July. But then again, each person's their own person. So for me, I try to stay constant and I try to release something right when it's still hot and fresh. So that way, people are going to be like, I want to see what happened, whether it's reliving the moments that they experienced in the convention or people who weren't at the convention seeing what they missed. And another thing I try to include is dealer's room, events, people getting autographs, people having fun, everything. So that way it kind of gives them an overall sense of the scope of what they missed or what they are reliving.
That was very thorough, and a lot of your points I do agree with. And it seems like you don't just have the creative's mind, but you also have the mentality of someone who knows marketing very well. I know a lot of people, they tend not to realize how important it is to put something out in good time. Like you're saying, if you do a 4th of July video, having it out on the 5th, maybe that would be great, but maybe you can't. But it doesn't take forever to release it. And then when you do that, you do miss the wave. If you're releasing your Anime North content months after the event, it's like, well, there's already another event coming up. Not to say that it's invalid. Like, I do believe that content is evergreen, but it's also how relevant is it going to remain, especially when it comes to video content. And also something else that I noticed with your videos is that you have so much great footage. And from what you're telling me with like the pre and the post production, you really do kind of like, tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you have an idea of how you want this video to look. So you get the source material to as close as possible, and then it makes the editing process a lot easier. That's something that I know a lot of content creators, and hell, even me, I've made those mistakes. But through trial and error, did you come to develop these habits, or was it just always kind of ingrained in you to be very prepared and understand how much effort you have to put into each step of the content creation process?
Well, for me, a lot of my habits are based on my on-the-job experiences. Like with Vicare Media, there was a shoot we had to do in Dallas, and I didn't get enough sleep, and we were late. And for me, I always make sure I'm there early. I'm there like at least 30 minutes to an hour before the shoot, and I'm there 30 minutes to an hour after the shoot if needed. Or if they don't need me there for the entire time, then I just leave work. But I make sure to get all the shots needed to tell the story. But for me, no one's going to tell you what equipment needs to be charged. No one's going to tell you what equipment you're going to need. It's best to have all the equipment there, charged, packed, and ready. Like right now, all my equipment's charged, packed, and ready. I was supposed to do a shoot with a client on Friday after my work shift, but he had some personal issues to deal with, and we were supposed to try to do something this week, but he's still kind of dealing with those personal issues. But Monday we're working together. But still, for me, the first and most important thing is getting the equipment charged up, because you never know when you're going to be on call. You never know when you're going to need to shoot something. Because if you don't have something charged up, guess what? There's no one else to blame but yourself. So for me, when I get home, I make sure everything's charged. Lights, cameras, drones, audio equipment. Even if I need to put AA batteries, I have an entire drawer full of AA batteries ready to go. So if something's like at like the 1 bar on like my audio equipment, I just take that out and put 2 fresh batteries in and good to go. But aside from that, no one's going to tell you when you're going to need it. But it's best to be overly prepared than underprepared, because when you're underprepared, you look like the unprofessional. And for me, I'd rather try to come off as professional as possible.